Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. The double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who as well. Peace and salutation to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us. Right, and this is going into Esau Edom, moving and wiggling around the earth during these last days. And I'm assuming that he thinks he's he's moving with wisdom and subtlety, and deceiving the nation still, but that power has been stripped from him because we're in the end, right? We're in the time of what? Shameful spewing being on his glory. So therefore all the nations are watching and seeing him. So pretty much it's just going into the news about something that China has a witness, in regards to Taiwan and the stance that America has on Taiwan. Before, the stance was, we're not trying to control Taiwan. We're not going to help Taiwan. We're going to let Taiwan decide to do what they want to do. But now it is showing in these last days that all along the devil has always been the devil, and he does plan to, be with Taiwan pretty much. All right. So we'll get a little bit of this. So basically what has happened is that they sent missiles to the Philippines, right? And it's called Ship Killer. Now, the only person that's known for having ships over in that area around Taiwan is China. So they called the missiles the Ship Killers. But not only that, they sent missiles before to do a drill. So that's what's happening. They're doing another drill, and they're sending new missiles called the Ship Killer. But they did a drill about 7 months ago, and they had some missiles called the Typhoon. So when they got done with the Typhoon, the drills, they left the Typhoon missiles there. That was 7 months ago. Now, they're doing a new drill, and they got a new missile called the Ship Killer. Right? So let's get into it.
Our next story is about the United States. It has placed a missile system in the Philippines as tensions with China go up. A missile system that can fire cruise missiles with range exceeding 1,600 kilometers, missiles that can basically strike targets directly in China. Is the US preparing for war with China? It does look like it. The missile system had been deployed on the northern island of Luzon, facing the South China Sea. It is close to the Taiwan Strait. Latest satellite image taken by Planet Labs showed the Typhoon at the Lawag International Airport in Ilocos Norte province. You see, according to reports, the United States has no immediate plans to withdraw a mid-range missile system that was deployed at a location in North Philippines, despite Chinese demands. It's called the Typhoon system, and it was brought in for joint exercises earlier this year, but it has remained there. According to Philippine officials, Filipino and US forces continue to train using it. The Southeast Asian archipelago of the Philippines, which is also Taiwan's neighbor to the south, by the way, is an important part of America's strategy in the region. In the event of war, the Philippines would be an indispensable staging point for the military to aid Taiwan. Of course, China is not happy with the American move. China and Russia have condemned the first deployment of the system to the Indo-Pacific and accused Washington of fueling an arms race. On Thursday, in fact, China's foreign ministry said that Beijing was very concerned about the US plan to keep the system in place.
China is gravely concerned about relevant reports. With regard to the deployment of the mid-range missile system in the Philippines by the United States of America, China has repeatedly and sternly stated its opposition.
Right, bomb. So this was posted 7 months ago, so this is the first one. And now we have the new missile system. And let me see. All right, so this one doesn't really have audio, but they sent a new missile called the Ship Killer. Let me play this. Yo, this is the same thing as Ukraine can't join NATO, right? Taiwan can't be a part of America, in any way, shape, or form because it's too close, right? And we're in that time now where what? Since I don't have it here, I'll just grab it. Of course, Joel 3, right? We're in a time now where these nations are rising up against what's happening, and they're gonna go to war. We're in that time. It's gonna pop. All right. It says, Joel 3 and 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of the war draw near, let them come up. Be your plowshares into swords and your pointing hooks into spears, let the weak say, I am strong. So these weaker nations that's always been bullied by America is no longer just idly standing by. And the name is ship killers. Like it sounds like Trump came up with that name, ship killers, for these missiles, right? And that's direct shots to China. China's the only one in that area, that's basically what they say is bullying the people over there in that area with their ships, right? Because of why America is trying to do what they're doing in with Ukraine. You see, they tried to go over to Ukraine, and Russia stepped in. So it's only a matter of time before China steps in, and then we have another war and rumor of war, because it's all leading up to what that third world war. Right. So that's in the news. Then we have this posted February 27, 2025. Trump declines to comment to Taiwan's defense. Commit. Trump declines to commit to Taiwan's defense if China invades. It says Washington, United States President Donald Trump on Wednesday again refused to make clear his stance on protecting Taiwan from a takeover by China during his presidency, right? So, it's not a yes or no, but it's obvious to see that, Taiwan and America is, they got some type of ties going on. But, these people here are trembling here in these last days because their end is near, right? And they know it, so they're moving real careful for the most part in certain areas, but not too careful because even though he said this, we're going to get the facts in the next article. It says, asked by a reporter during a cabinet meeting whether it was his policy that China would never take Taiwan by force while he is president, Trump declined to give a definitive answer. It says, I never comment on that. He said, I don't comment on it because I don't want to ever put myself in that position. It says Trump also reiterated that he has a great relationship with Chinese President Xi Jinping, right? And said that Washington welcomes good relations with Beijing, right? And now they're throwing 300% tariffs on them. So anyway, this is where China. So these nations are watching like a magnifying glass at these devils because shameful spewing is on their glory, right? And they're being found out to be the man of sin, son of perdition. It says China says Trump admins change to U.S. fact sheet on Taiwan, further damaging regional peace. So this was February 17, 2025. So they're not, we're not even saying devices, and the nations are waking up too, to what's going on here. It says Beijing, China's foreign minister took issue Monday with a revised U.S. government fact sheet that removed a line on American opposition to independence for Taiwan. So they removed. So it was something that said on a sheet, or paper, whatever the case may be, that they were not opposed, or opposed to it basically. But now they removed that part of the line. So imagine wherever that little piece of paper, online, digital, wherever was at, how China had to basically be watching that thing every day because they just knew, that America would what be the devil. It says Beijing, China foreign minister took issue Monday with a revised U.S. government fact sheet that removed a line on American opposition to independence for Taiwan. The United States gravely backpedaled on its position on Taiwan and sent the wrong message to separatist forces on the island. Ministry spokesperson Jewel Jakin said. So it says Taiwan and China split in 1949 during the Civil War that brought the communists to power in China. The defeated nationalists fled to Taiwan and set up a rival government there. Taiwan has its own government and military, but has never declared formal independence from China. It says we urge the U.S. to stop emboldening and supporting Taiwan independence and avoid further damaging China-U.S. relations and peace and stability of the Taiwan Strait. Guo said when he asked about the revision at a daily media briefing. Let's see what this is talking about right here. It says give someone the courage or confidence to do something or to behave in a certain way. Emboldening, right? So, hey, that's exactly what America is doing. It says the Taiwan Strait is a narrow waterway that separates the island of Taiwan from the China East Coast. And then you have that right there, image, whatever. So you got Taiwan, Philippines, this is where they have those new missiles, the old missiles from 7 months ago, and now the new missiles, the ship clips are going to be here. And China usually comes over here and circles Taiwan and stuff, So yeah, that's that, and I got some precepts on it. This is simply just in the news, because it goes to the fact that they had that part there that they took out, and China witnessed that immediately, pretty much. Psalm 55:20, he have put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He have broken his covenant. And why is that? Because for the most part, these nations, the scriptures even say they've been weak, they've been chilling, they've been not doing nothing, right? Russia has been trying to join NATO for a long ass time, China just been doing what China do, chilling, growing, Psalms 55:21 said the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words are softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, because these devils going to bring forth that World War III to issue on their New World Order agenda, right? And they're deceiving the nations while doing it, saying they're all about peace and safety, but the scriptures say sudden destruction that come upon them. This is 28. And I read the whole thing. This is Psalms chapter 28, verse 1. It says, a Psalms of David. Unto thee will I cry, O Lord Yahweh, my rock. Be not silent to me, lest if thou be silent to me, I become like them that go down into the pit. Hear the voice of my supplications when I cry unto thee, when I lift up my hands toward my holy oracle. It says, draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers of iniquity, which speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts. This is Esau Edom. Right, this devil don't want no peace. Right, it says, give them according to their deeds, and according to the wickedness of their endeavors. Give them after the work of their hands. Render to them their desert, because they regard not the works of the Lord Yahweh, nor the operation of his hands. He shall destroy them and not build them up. It says, blessed be the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shai, because he hath heard the voice of my supplications. The Lord Yahweh is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore my heart greatly rejoiced, and with my song will I praise him. The Lord Yahweh is their strength, and he is the saving strength of his anointed. Save thy people and bless thine inheritance. Feed them also and lift them up forever. Right? Good prayer right there. All right, but the point I wanted was verse 3. It says, draw, Psalms 28:3, draw me not away with the wicked and with the workers of iniquity, which speak peace to their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts. Right, so just a while ago, earlier, Trump was talking about we love China, and now they hate China. Right. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou the last from my words and be pricked their wood. And the nations, for the most part, because this is wisdom, the nations are seeing that. Now they're starting to see it though, that's why the scriptures say what the nations are mad, right? Because they have drunken of the wine of Babylon the Great. So they put Babylon the Great right next to them. Now their women all fucked up, the children discombobulated, the money systems is fucked, right? Everything is fucked up because what these devils, are mixed with the nations and messed everything up. And so now they're waking up in these last days because pursuant to prophecy, they're going to turn on this whore Babylon the Great. So now it's like, oh no, you can't continue to inch close with NATO. They said no, you can't be here next to Taiwan, right? You can't have greater Israel because they know what's to come. They know what that was going to do, which is increase that which is not his. Continue, and go, right? So they're going to go to war because at this point they have no more room, right? The only thing left is them, right? So it says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come not wild beasts? So one that goeth to a sinner and defiled with him and his sins, who will pity? It says, for a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. And the enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagines how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Right. So we'll see what happens with Ukraine. Right, because they're losing the war. Ukraine is losing the war. Russia's winning. Right, that's been obvious from the beginning. Before they even started, the scriptures say, what king sit down not, and count the cost of what's going on. You have Russia, right, a major superpower against little ass Ukraine, and the little help Ukraine can get. It was from the beginning. It was obvious that Russia will win. And pursuant to prophecy, Russia will be a guard unto these nations and attack America and Israel. So there was no way Russia was going down anyway. All right. Says an enemy speak to, so yeah, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. Right, that's why you got them now trying to abandon talks and talking about, well, we're going to give Russia this amount of land. They're trying to figure it out because they lost. Isaiah 47:1, it says, come down and sit in dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground, there is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. It says, I want this in the NLT. Isaiah 47:1, come down, virgin daughter of Babylon, and sit in the dust, for your days of sitting on a throne have ended. O daughter of Babylonia, never again will you be the lovely princess, tender and delicate. Take heavy millstone and grind flour, remove your veil and strip off your robe. Expose yourself to public view. You will be naked and burdened with shame. I will take vengeance against you without pity. Right. And that's exactly what's happening, because why? Like I said, China found this thing somewhere that they remove a part, from a sheep when they took it out, and that's why the scriptures say right here also, what is that? Daniel 8:25, I believe, or 7:25. I think it's 7. No, Daniel 8:25 is saying, and through his policy also he shall cause crop to prosper in his hands. So let me grab this. Let's see what this policy is right here. That's what Esau do. This nigga put something on a piece of paper and then change the paper later. It says cunning craft, prudence, insight, understanding, prudence, their sense. Let's see root word here. It says to give attention to. Teachers, the wise, to cause, to consider, give insight, teach, to be prudent. Yeah, I clicked on it. His policy, right? So that goes into what? His you grab this. I believe it's Psalm 21. I believe it's Psalm 21. What is Isaiah? I'm grab Isaiah 10. This is Isaiah 10 and 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. Let's see what this word decree is. It's the same thing, pretty much. It says action, prescribed, decree, resolve, statute, right? So this is going into those policies, those papers, right? Those decrees, those executive orders, right? It says Daniel 8 and 25, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hands, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Right. And basically he has set up, all these policies around the world that he made the nations follow, but he himself did not, follow after these policies. That's why now they're having these international court meetings, and, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Jew, right, is wanted all over the world, and no one's arresting him, right? Because of this man policy. All right. So I'm gonna go back over here. Right. So, they're being seen and found out. This is Psalms 137 and 7. It says, remember, O Lord Yahweh Bashmi, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. Is O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Right. So, hey, these nations are going to attack, and rise up against this devil. It says, happy shall he be that taketh and that dashes thy little ones against the stones. Right. So, hey, basically, Babylon will be utterly obliterated by these nuclear missiles, by these same nations that they're bullying, and provoking, as China said. China said, you playing with fire. This is Isaiah 29 and 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh Bashmi, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us and knoweth us? It says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Right, and that's basically Esau Edom. His turning of things upside down. Right, he's talking about who's seeing us, which I got some more precepts next. Grab this NLT. It says, what sorrow awaits those who try to hide their plans from the Lord Yahweh Bashmi, who do their evil deeds in the dark. The Lord can't see us, they say, who he doesn't know what's going on. Right. And basically everyone sees these devils, everyone sees exactly what they're doing. And that's why, like I said, China found that thing immediately. They had to be looking and watching. It says, how foolish can you be? He is the potter, and he is certainly greater than you, the clay. Should the created thing say of the one who made it, he didn't make me? Does a jar ever say the potter who made me is stupid? Right. This is let me grab, I'll get it from the top. Psalm 94:1. It says, the Lord Yahweh Bashmi power, to whom vengeance belongeth. O Yahweh, power, to whom vengeance belongeth, show thyself. It says, lift up thyself, thou judge of the earth, render a reward to the proud. Lord Yahweh Bashmi, how long shall the wicked triumph? How long shall they utter and speak hard things, and all the workers of iniquity boast themselves? They break in pieces thy people, O Lord Yahweh, and afflict thine heritage. They slay the widow and the stranger and murder the fatherless. Yet they say the Lord Yahweh Bashmi shall not see, neither shall the power of Jacob regard it. Understand ye brutish among the people, and ye fools, when will ye be wise? He that planted the ear, shall he not hear? He that formed the eye, shall he not see? He that chasteneth the heathen, shall not he correct? He that teacheth man knowledge, shall not he know? Said the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi shall know of the thoughts of man, and they are vanity. Right. So basically Esau is, thinks obviously that he's invisible, here in these last days, but he's not. This is Psalm 50 and 16. It says, but unto the wicked Yahweh said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? And who's doing that big in these last days is Israel. They're saying what they're doing, committing that genocide, is pursuant to prophecy, but the only genocide that will be committed, or the only destruction of a people talked about in the Bible is Obadiah 1:18, when the nation of Edom will be utterly obliterated, and be no more found. So anyway, it says Psalm 50 and 16, it says, but unto the wicked, Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Seeing thou hatest instruction and casteth thy words behind thee, when thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thine own mother's sons. These things that thou hast these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. And that's exactly what's happening here in these last days, right? Esau, Edom is being destroyed, and basically getting his judgment. And Jacob is what, about to be delivered and redeemed, you know. It says, now consider this, ye that forget Yahweh, lest I tear you in pieces, and there be none to deliver. Whoso author praise glorified me, and to him that ordereth his conversation aright will I show the salvation of Yahweh. Right? So another good prayer there. But Esau, Edom thinking, they said the Most High is with him. Even Trump think that he's sent by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and now he's sending missiles over here to provoke China. And China, hey, we'll see what happens, So, pretty much just in the news, Lord willing, we're edified from the lesson. I'll say shalom to the elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.